Hello everyone, we are here with episode 5, tips and tricks. And the last session that we had in here, we were looking at how to create a basic Google form. And now we're going to look at what can we do with the results from that. So I did my test survey and some students very kindly volunteered to fill in the results for us so that we can then have a look and create this video here. So thank you to those students who did that. Let's have a look at interpreting market research results in Google Forms, shall we? So really simple. Google Forms is fantastic in providing you the information that you need quickly and easily. For a lot of the things that we would need and a lot of students would need, we can actually just take the results straight from Google Forms when you click on responses at the top of your page. To copy and paste the chart that you need, you'll see the copy icon. You can see I've put it over here. All you've got to do is just click that and that will copy and paste it, and then you can put that into your presentation or your document or whatever you need. It's absolutely fantastic at doing that for you, and it does it live as well, so you can watch it if you've got a lot of people doing your survey at a time, you know they're going to be doing it. So it's created a nice simple pie chart with us here. We can start to make decisions on that. This is what it looks like if it's a bit bigger. It's the same one. It color codes it all for us with a little bit of Google branding. Yeah, smart, huh? A little bit of marketing in there. And it's just so simple and really easy to use. It's made a few into bar charts for us. We'll talk about changing those in a few moments' time. But again, really simple, really straightforward. And you can see at a glance, this one here, we're looking at if you do visit coffee shops, that 51% of people are just buying a drink. So you know if you're going to start making decisions on that, that drinks is probably where you're going to be looking at in terms of your new product or service, because that's our task that we're looking at for our work. And when we come a bit further down, we've got pie charts again to show us what we're looking at, and the color coding makes it really easy and looks really professional without having to do much. So what do we do then? Well, then we can start making marketing strategy decisions. In our coursework, that's a merit task. And for that, we're going to look at things like which of these new entertainment options would attract you to visit Costa. And the one that's got the most is video games. Over 54% of people have said that video games and tournaments would get people in. So that's great. You would know then that if you were to host video game tournaments in a coffee shop or stream them live maybe, or have a few competitors there, that could bring 16 to 19-year-olds in. Great. We've got proof of that in our surveys. How brilliant is that? And we've also got to evaluate your market research methodology. So that's great that you've managed to find out that there's a call for video games tournaments in coffee shops, and that will change the dynamic of the coffee shop completely, really, which is fine if that's your target market. But what else could we have done to research this? We don't know what video games people like to play. We don't know whether we are looking at live tournaments or where we just watch them, or do we have people in the store, in the coffee shop, actually playing the games? What console are we talking about? How often do we play? Is it just a one-off? Are these regular events? Do we set up clubs and teams and leagues? So your research methodology, you could talk about, okay, it's great that I found this out, but if I were to do this research again, I would ask more questions linked to this, and maybe even another survey just based around the idea of video game tournaments, because that seems to be the popular one from the survey results that I've got. So that's what you're going to do with your research results. Once you've got them and you're interpreting them, what does it mean? What decisions can you make based upon that? And if you could do your research again, what would you do differently, and why would you do it differently? Now, there is a little bit more to Google Forms. Okay, we are going to have a look at some sheets here, because what Google Forms also does for you automatically is, with the click of a button, transfers it all into a spreadsheet. So let's take a look at what we can do with that. And that's our more traditional, what we might have been used to doing a few years ago when it comes to analyzing data. So let's take a quick look at what we can do when we have our data in a spreadsheet. Okay then, so what we've got here is the results or responses, I should say, from the questionnaire that I made. So when you're on your questionnaire, you just hit responses at the top. You can see I've got 33 of them here, which is great. Thank you again, students who did this. And all I need to do to get to the spreadsheet version of this is hit this little green thing up here in the top right of the screen. And I've already done that. So it loads up a spreadsheet that looks a bit like this. Now, if you were to just look at that and present that to somebody, then that's not really looking very professional, is it? Okay, you can't put that on somebody's desk and make a decision from that. You wouldn't be able to present that to a manager or into a meeting or to your kind of co-workers and actually make sense of that. So let's make sense of that, shall we? If you want a little bit more than what the kind of the automatic Google responses do, then this is really so simple. Not many to show my age. I remember spending hours trying to figure out how to do this years ago in Excel. But now, all I'm going to do, I'm going to hit this one here. Let's go over here. I'm going to do insert, and strangely enough, I'd like it in chart form. And then it will do that for me. I will just sit here patiently while it does it. And my internet catches up. There we go. So now I've got a nice little pie chart, which I can hit these buttons here. The settings, here it is. And when they load, nice and slow this afternoon on a Friday afternoon. And on these three little buttons, any minute now, there we go. See, look, maybe we should edit that. No, let's leave it in. Then we can do all kinds of things with this. We can copy it, move it places. We can edit it. We can download it. You can also, if you were to format this, you saw the format thing come up at the side. Let's have a look at that. If we look at chart style, and you're thinking, you know what, that's all right, but I kind of want to personalize a little bit so it doesn't look like everybody else's, then I can change the colors on it. It's all down here on the right hand side. There's so many things you can do with it that really is, you know, your choice to kind of make it exactly as you want it to be and stand out from the others. I mean, you know, little things like putting a hole in the middle. You see that a lot in terms of professional graphs nowadays, that you see to get people's attention because it looks a little bit different. So you can do all kinds of things with these. You can change the data that you're looking at. You can change what it looks like. And it's a really simple, straightforward way to do it. So if you want to take your graphs to the next level, then you can do that. Let's get rid of that, shall we? And let's have a look what else we can do. So if we go across the top row, what I'm also going to do is create a filter. So this is a nice way of narrowing down our choices here. So if I go to, I've highlighted the titles there, even though Google has very kindly put it already in for me. And I'm going to have a look here. Where did I hide it? There we go. Data. And I'm going to click on create a filter. And then it's going to do that for me. And what it's done now is created these little filters at the top. So we were talking earlier about video games at the start of this video. So let's have a look here. So which of these new things would you like? Let's say we only want the responses where people chose video games. Let's get me out of the way, put me over here. So I'm going to get rid of that. Here we go. I'm going to get rid of live DJs, live comedy, and live sports. So now it will only show when it wants to. This is, there's the OK. Aha. Then we're here. OK. Marvelous. In case you ever thought all of this was, you know, wow, he does all that in one take and it all works perfectly. No. And now I can look across a little bit. I can think, OK, well, it seems that a lot of people who like video games, when you can think, well, when are they visiting? If they did visit, when, what would they like? Would they like food and drink or just a drink? Seems to be a lot of just a drink here. What kind of flavors do they want and how much are they willing to pay? So then you can really kind of narrow down into your questions and your marketing strategy decisions. So rather than just saying video games and by the looks of this one, very quickly, drinks would be the most popular option. Then you could think about the flavors. Then you could think about how much you'd want to pay for them, charge for them as well. So as well as Google Forms being really simple and straightforward, you can still get in-depth and in detail by using the Google Sheets application as well, and following what we've done here to create charts that match your style and your work, and to create filters so that you can narrow down and get your own personal responses. So that's it. I hope that this has been really useful to you, and that you can now interpret your market research results in Google Forms and using Google Sheets so that you can make strategy decisions from them. Just about said it there. Marketing strategy. Oh no, shouldn't have started. Marketing strategy decisions based upon your results, and then you can also evaluate your methodology and think about how you would do your research differently next time. There we go. So thanks very much for watching. I hope this has been useful to you, and all the best in using Google Forms and Sheets to analyze your data. See ya. Bye.